Alright, here we go. Here's game 2. Okay, so we'll run down again. Blue side, this time it is Jax, Udyr, Victor, Jhin, Leona versus Kennen, Jarvan, Annie, Misfortune, Rakan.
Slow down. I need to drink more before we finish this VOD. This was bad.
Feels bad,
Do
man.
you have any gin for your friendly neighborhood jungler?
I sure do, buddy.
Bourbon.
Sick.
Bourbon.
Drink something real. Gin?
Hey man,
Hey,
you
that
only
fourth
get 4
shot.
shots.
It tastes like cleaning solution.
I think this is why I'm not gonna make it. Boys, I'm sorry.
Alright, but yeah.
Good
Top lane. This is a counter matchup for Kennen in Kennen's favor. This is like Kennen is a Jax counter, so this should once again go really well for Leper in theory. Fuck Udyr. I'm not entirely sure how the Annie Victor one matchup goes. I know Victor is really fucking strong right now, scaling wise. Annie can probably punish him until he gets to E evolve. Once he gets to 100 stacks on his passive or whatever to get the E evolve. At that point, Victor can probably just delete the wave. But he still does have to play careful because Annie, when she gets like first item, can probably one-shot him if he's not full health. Yeah, if he's like if he's like 3/4 health, Annie can probably one-shot him when she has first item. As for the bot lane, I'm not entirely sure. Leona is considered a Rakan counter.
I
It's
don't think there's any
definitely on how you play it, though. I think personally, I don't have too much of a problem with Leona as a Rakan player, but
well, if
you just have to approach. You just have to approach the lane differently as Rakan versus Leona. Rakan still has, in theory, like control of the lane. Like that's at least how I've heard a lot of like pros talk about it. Is like Leona counters Rakan, but Rakan still decides what happens, right? Because like Leona, yeah, like Leona can't really engage on them still, right? Like Leona's whole thing is being able to stop Rakan when he goes in, right?
We're just all in their AD and kind of just make a wash that way.
Yeah, but Leona
Is
still
it-
can't be the one force engages really unless you're really far ahead, or there's like an AD diff. But Jhin, MF, they should both be, you know, decently strong. So there's not much to be done here until level 6. Then some windows will open up a little bit more for where you can 100 to 0 people all in them. MF can look for poke off of Qs and E. Jhin can look for poke off of Qs and Ws and shit. But not much should happen here, honestly. I expect it's going to be more about the junglers, and it should be about supports roaming. But yeah, this is what I mean by it's like if the Rakan goes in, Leona stops him from leaving. So Rakan still has the control. So that means that like you're not in much danger of Leona doing much to you, but you kind of just have to accept that you can't do anything unless it's very fucking obvious and very easy. Like someone's overextended, you can catch the Jhin without the Leona being able to punish you, or like the jungler's there or some shit and you don't need to leave, right? Like you can't really trade as Rakan into Leona.
It's kind of hard to eat Jhin if you time it incorrectly. You can still get a movement speed proc and you can just like walk out of the range.
Yeah, it's just on his 4-shot though until he starts getting crit, so it's not too bad. You just have to know that he'll get movement speed off his 4-shot.
Well, fleet footwork too.
Yeah, it's not that much.
I mean, it's enough.
Yeah, as expected, Kennan's just fucking bodying this lane. Jax is in the middle of a fucking minion wave. He doesn't win this fight. Oh my gosh, I think he's gonna win this fight somehow. Not entirely sure how, but...
I think it's an execute. No, he does.
No,
Yeah.
he was trying to, but he didn't.
Waited enough time.
He didn't make it. Yeah, and I was just like misplay from the Kennen getting back into flash stun range. He didn't need to. Then yeah, this is the 100 to 0. Okay, he didn't even need fucking first item. That's no items. Goddamn, fuck Annie. Flash ult, ignite, QW. But yeah, and then that one as a mid laner is just like, you just gotta be ready for that. Is that when Annie has stun ready, and once she's level 6, you just have to be really fucking wary of her flash stun, and you just have to be fucking hovering that flash button. Be prepared. Especially as a Victor, because you can't really do anything early. That was really good. Gank by Merit. Back this shit up again here, I believe. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. We should have probably deep instead of AFK pushing up.
Yeah, like this wave crashes, you know your junglers in base, you're not really doing anything by standing here, right? Like they're gonna push, the wave's gonna slow push back you anyways, you don't need to be standing that far up. And then you don't have flash, so it's just an easy EQ setup from the Jarvan.
But it didn't go to MF.
Mm-hmm.
Suckers.
Fucked. But true.
My old jungler is very notorious for taking kills. It's very funny to me.
I'm not used to playing tanks all too often, so like.
Hey, I don't care if it's not me.
And yeah, the MF isn't here, you don't have enough damage. Jarvan should just be dead here, yeah.
It kinda got stunned.
Yeah. No, yeah, with
Go out.
Victor missing from mid lane, that's so sad. If you had okay, that is not worth. That is for sure not worth.
ADC for support, I'll take it.
But yeah,
Yeah, he
if
just like fucking
Archon,
ran in. I'm like, no.
this is sad. Okay, let's see. I'm watching your cooldowns here. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, it was just a little too close. You weren't able to W.
Well, and at that point, it was. I think I was calling like, hey, we just need to back up here. We can't fight all 3 of them.
Did MF have
There. You could have potentially just used W immediately off cooldown onto Leona, like not at max range, just so it would like tip her and knock her up. There's like a potential for that, where, you know, you get that and you can both just walk away and you get the Leona for free, but without your E, I can understand not wanting to look for that, just because it is risky. With everyone else coming around the fucking corner, there is a big chance that if you mess it up and go too far, they, like, instead of being 1 for 0 or 1 for 1, they actually just get both of you for it without you having your E up, so. So that's just free dragon. As we can see by the CS, the Jax is not having a good time of it. Top lane, which is expected. Honestly, at this point, Merit, I would just full send top lane, because your Annie is strong. Should be doing well in that 1v1. Your Kennen is doing really well. I would just focus on snowballing those 2 lanes and having Rakan just roam.
Shark Coop is asking if, like, how he translates his lead.
Team fights. Because you're going AP Kennen, so you can't, like, you're not, like, split push. You just are supposed to, like, you know that point in the game when you see someone for the first time, they fucking one-shot you, and then you press tab and you're like, oh, huh. Well, I guess that lane lost pretty fucking hard. You just want to do that to the rest of their fucking team. Like, just fucking show up to a team fight, one-shot their back line, and then they're tilted because they're like, oh, I guess top lane lost that hard. Huh.
Like, I guess in retrospect, like, I focused bot lane because I thought that was going to be our win con because we were playing for Wombo.
Yeah, no, that's not your win con. Your win con is definitely going to be Annie Kennen, especially, like, at this point with how the first 5 to 10 minutes have gone. But yeah, I'll point those out to you once we get to them. They're going to be coming more once laning phase is over, so closer to 15-20 minutes. So when that shit's going to happen. I think you trade 1 for 1 here for sure. You get the Jax because he's just so fucking weak. That was good. That's Leona, she doesn't die here. Oof. You both die to like jerk. I don't know why you canceled it after
I got
1.
really scared of it.
She wasn't that close to you yet, bro. You definitely could have at least. I would have sent out 1 more shot before I started getting scared.
Hey man, I've been dying a lot lately to everything, so I just get so scared.
But yeah, that was definitely a bit of an overreach from Senor Jarvan dying there. But yeah. Yeah, top lane and mid lane, especially now, like, you see your top laners fucking 2 and 2, doubled the Jax's farm, your mid laners 2 and 0, those should be your win cons, because they can follow up on your CC. Your bot lane doesn't necessarily have the damage to follow you up, especially against a Leona. Fuck ganking a Leona, like, that shit's just so hard to do.
And like, the item difference between Jhin and MF right now is kind of insane.
I mean, they're pretty much
not as much.
exactly the same. Like, it's
Well, he just fought.
it's Noon Quiver versus Serrated Derek Longsword. So, it's not. But yeah, no. Like, you look at that item difference and it's the same, but then you look at mid and top lane, it's like mid's the same, but top lane is massive.
And MF is gonna do MF things, whether it's
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would just be focusing top and mid lane at this point, just getting Kennen as big as you can, getting Annie as big as you can, and that's also is part of the thing, Leper, as well, is it's not entirely on you. Here, Alistair should have also noticed that you were fucking big and helped you translate that lead, and made you more involved in other things on the map. Like, there's 2 ways to do that. 1, going to the things, or 2, making them fucking come to you. So, earlier I was talking about going to things, but you also could have, like, had your jungler, your mid laner, and your support come and play more around you. And yeah, this is kind of, once again, the thing where it's like, Leona just kind of stops you from doing anything. She's like a neutralizer. So, it's really hard to force engage as Rakan's into Leona.
Right. And I think I could have jumped over the wall there, but it's like I don't like just leaving.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Especially
Sometimes you do have to just cut your losses, though. MF has
Earlier,
movement
I just
speed.
said, die, Snuggle. You're dead.
That's token, dude.
never said.
Oh, when Jarvan showed up in lane, I was like, out of here. I'll give you one stun, and I'm leaving.
Yeah, oh, that was dead.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So that's the big thing, especially like this specific, like Rakan in general, but this specific matchup is you have to be very fucking careful about what engages you take. Because, especially in this matchup, a lot of them you can't fucking walk away from. You'll either die or you'll kill them. Those are your two options on your engages against a Leona. And honestly, now that you have Mobius, it's not a bad option to just fucking leave the lane and force kills mid lane or even top lane. Like every time you back, I like to do like a drive by mid lane. So on blue side, that's just walking this way and seeing if there's something that you can do. Red side is just walking down the lane, right, and seeing if there's anything you can do to force. If you're feeling really fucking spicy, you can walk this way and see if you can force something mid, or you can go for something top lane. Same thing on blue side. It's like go this way. See if you can force something, drop a ward here or like here or some shit. But yeah, especially as Rakan, especially in this lane, I would just be trying to leave this lane. That was a close look. You definitely could have. I'm not sure if you could have gotten. You probably could have gotten the kill, just from a slight misplay with like your spacing, because you had to flash back in. I feel like there's a very real world where you don't have to flash back in. Yeah, like see, Leona's doing a drive by mid right now, off of her back lane, and you're just in lane bot lane and. Like you try to force something, you get his flash out, just because Snuggle steps up too far. We can go back and watch that after this. This is definitely a fucking overforce. And I'm not sure if it's just because you didn't know the Leona was here, but if you didn't know the Leona here, then that's just an int.
Yeah, I tend to tell my supporters to just leave if you want.
Yeah. But yeah, so as soon as they see, like, I assume you go for this W because you see Leona mid lane, which means that Alistair and Puffin should not have looked for that fucking fight, not knowing what the Udyr was. It's a 2v2 at best, right? At worst, it's a 2v3, 2v4. But yeah, as soon as you see this Leona, you can definitely look for this, and then Snuggle, you're... Yeah. Up a little too far, especially since Leona showed, you know, they're gonna shove the wave, and they can't freeze it with what it is, so just you can just like stand back here and wait for it to come to you at the tower. Then you don't have to lose your flash. Then you should just flash on him right here. If you flash on him, the W comes out sooner, just because the time it takes for it to go off is scaled by travel time. So if you flash on him, A, it comes out sooner, and B, you don't accidentally short it like that. So if you just flash on him, he's just dead. Because he doesn't have flash, he doesn't have heal, he doesn't have mana. So.
But I've got shield. That's come on.
I guess maybe I'm not sure how much mana MF had, but.
No, they would have killed it. If they get the knife up there, for sure. Shield build's not very good, I don't think.
Let's see what Leper does here. I think I remember talking to Leopard as this. Like, as soon as that fucking... Wait, did the Herald just die? Yeah. Why didn't it say anything? I'm not sure why it doesn't say anything. But as soon as that fucking Herald dies, you just need to E and run away. Like, immediately. You should be running. You should have been running. Like, that Udyr is just gonna... You're so far up, the Udyr is just gonna come and fucking kill your ass.
Yeah, Sim goes for mid and bot. Dragon's taken. If you're pushed up.
But yeah, that's one key way to, you know, maximize the lead that you find yourself in lane is not dying. Just don't die. LOL. I don't know. It's like you have to make sure everything you're doing, like, because you're, you know, it's you and Annie are the two strong ones on your team. So you can't do, you know, you're not in control of the Annie, you're in control of the Kennen. So just not make sure that the Kennen doesn't die, and trust that Puffin will make sure the Annie doesn't die. And just force things otherwise.
By the way, do you think lethality Jin's just better right now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think so. I think lethality's just better.
My friend who's a D1 Jin, one trick, plays lethality Jin. Crit is ass in general right now. If you can build on hit or crit, or if you can build on hit or lethality in general, the ADCs are doing it. That's why like Ashe, Jin, Misfortune are like the strong ADCs right now.
Yeah, what's the... Do they go Eclipse or...
Yeah, yep,
or,
you go
okay.
Eclipse.
Because I was messing around with lethality bears today, and I kind of like Duskblade just for the haste, but that could be just a first thing.
I think they're both supposed to buff crit next patch.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
say they're gonna buff crit for like 3 years now. So.
We'll see if they do.
It's
But no,
gonna
yeah.
be... Remember last time they buffed crit, it was a 30% HP boost? Wow. Great job.
But no, yeah, you should be going like Eclipse Collector.
Okay. So that's what I've kind of been realizing.
Collector's just really fucking strong. Yeah, you should probably be going like Eclipse Collector, Edge of Night, Mortal Reminder, or some shit like that. That Udyr's just so fucking strong. It's a good gank though to find. Good job. Sad. Maybe I would consider here Rakan. I'm sorry, you're playing Rakan. You've
It's
fucking
fine.
subjected yourself to this.
It's fine.
If you want to play my champ, you gotta get fucking nitpicked. Instead of ulting, right, like ult and then flash W, or flash W ult, one of those two, just to make sure you get the Jin. Like if you ult and then flash W, you hit him with the ult before your W even goes off, so he can't walk out of it in general, but also it gives you the extra distance, so you make sure you hit it. This should just be an easy 1v1. Yep. Let's get the dragon. Okay, so now we're at like 18 minutes. 18, 19 minutes, and that is when you're gonna want to start looking for things, Leper. So whenever you have your TP up, only use it to TP to fights. That's the other big thing, is making sure you're using your TP well. TP to fights, be there for objective fights. Granted, there probably won't be one for another 4 minutes now, just because the dragon just got taken with the timings. But in theory, if they hadn't found that gank right before and gotten like 3 free kills, that would be a time where you would TP in and just ult their backline and fucking destroy them. But yeah. You should be going Hourglass third, I think, or second. Yeah, you didn't, but I feel like Hourglass second might have been better. Just because, specifically in this scenario with the Udyr being strong and him going AD Udyr, going the Hourglass second just to make sure you can, it's not it's like Rocket Belt. So you can Rocket Belt in, press R, and then Hourglass, and make sure you get to live to do all your damage. Because the fight should just be over pretty much by the time you get out of. Like, if you can find a good ultimate that gets stuns and you don't die before you get those stuns off. There we go. See, this was a really fucking good TP. This is where you're exerting your pressure on the game. Y'all get 4 kills. Does he get flashed on? Yep. Fuck. That's tragic. Yeah. 3 for 4, still. Not bad. And he wasn't there. Found 4 kills in a 4v5. Oh, but yeah, Night Harvester, Riftmaker, like that makes sense, but just like in this specific scenario, against an AD Udyr, I would go Hourglass. A fed AD Udyr. Because really right now, their only fucking win con is Udyr and Jhin. And especially since you're leaning against a Jax, they have triple AD. And the one that you're specifically leaning against is also AD, so AD, jungle mid, or jungle top, Hourglass, Megapog. But yeah, honestly from this point, this should just be a 1 game from red side. In theory, if they're playing it right. Like, this is just another overextend. 2 minutes till dragon, so there's not much you can do. You just force out Jax TP for free, though. Kennen doesn't have TP, but it should be alright because Jarvan's here. And then you just want to leave before you get too much over. Oof. Oh my god, that healing. Fucking Udyr, bro. Okay. Well, this looked really fucking... Yeah, that should have been really fucking good for red side, but it ended up not. Just because of Udyr. After that fight is immediate when I would be like, alright guys, we need fucking at least 2 forms of Grievous Wounds. Like, after that fight, I would have gone back and bought a Bramble Vest on the Jarvan and brought an Executioner's Calling on the MF immediately. Which I think he just bought Executioners. Yeah, it's just, yeah. And then on top of that, I also would have bought a Grievous on the Jarvan probably. Oof, this is very far. None of your lanes are pushing up. You can't go this far up as the Kennen here. Even if, like, it's one of those things like, yes, you're big, right? But it's the same thing of, like, that just makes it even more important that you don't die. So you're 4-4 and 3, but like you should be like 4-2 and 3 probably. This is just too far. That was so greedy walking through that way. You don't have any help coming. You two are just both dead. I can understand wanting to help him, but
Yeah, I have a tendency, like, that is one of my biggest problems as a support, is I just...
don't add a second death. 1 is necessary, 2 is not, you know? Especially this close before the dragon as well. Like, if you want any chance at contesting the dragon, which you could potentially have if you had lived and the Kennen had walked to it off of respawn, potentially you could have found a 4v4 because you know Jax is top lane without TP. So there's potential to find a 4v4, but only if you're still alive. Like, if you had ultimate and were alive here and Kennen was here at the start, you guys can still wombo combo with Annie, Rakan, Jarvan, Kennen. But yeah. And at this point, you just need to be standing behind Leona and Udyr at all points. You can't step in front of them or you die.
Honey, he brought you a ball now.
But yeah, in the end though, MF and you shouldn't have been that far up. MF should not have been that far up and should not have been trying to walk through lane that way.
I think at this point, like, my biggest concern is, like, I should keep the MF alive. But, I mean...
It should not have been,
out that
yeah.
It was Annie and Koopa that were our Granny and Leper. Sorry,
Yeah.
Leper. That were our.
But no, yeah, you want to be like, especially as a support, you want to be in the mindset of like, okay, who is my carry that I'm protecting? It's not always the ABC.
Right.
Often it will be, and especially in lane, it's going to be, but at some point as well, you just need to like be evaluating like, okay, who is gonna win this game for us? It's not the MF like whatever. It's more gonna be like the MF will put her ult down if someone else finds the engage. No matter, like that's whatever, right? But your job should now more be just assisting Annie, Kennen, because like if you and Jarvan find someone with the Annie or the Kennen there, you just instantly get the kill.
Well, the only reason I'm correcting myself, Leper, is I know there's another Koopa or some kind in this channel.
Oh, I don't know
Black
any other
specifically,
Koopas.
I mean, I was evil leper for a day.
There.
I only played Teemo. Because everyone knows Teemo and Kennen are related.
You guys are still really strong. Red just needs to play this around the right people. And it's going to be really fucking hard, but you have to just be careful of the Udyr. Udyr, like, he's really strong, but Udyr's not a super popular or champion, like, for a reason. Just, like, his kit hasn't, like, yes, he's strong right now, but his kit hasn't changed. He still has the same shortcomings. And that he's not, you know, the best in 5v5 team fights, right? Because he's not the champ that's going to get on your back line. He's not the champ that's just going to be able to sit in the front and face tank everything. So if you guys can just force them to have front to back team fights against you where you can like catch them out and you're fighting together, like that was a really fucking bad fight because you weren't together at all. Like, I don't know, you were all just split off, different like target priority. And so the Udyr was able to just 1v1 the Jarvan and then 1v1 the Kennen. Like, the Udyr can do that for fucking days. He can 1v1 people for days. It's 5v5s he can't do. So, like, the strong Udyr doesn't fucking matter if y'all are 5v fighting. 5v5 fighting. So it's just, at this point, just being more on the same page and finding better fights for yourselves. You might just lose this dragon now just because you can't get set up. This is really hard to walk into without Kennen ultimate. Jax could potentially just jump over the wall and fucking kill MF. Dragon's up in 5. At this point, you should just probably wait for your Jarvan to get closer. You have a blue ward up from the MF, so you can check when they start it. Damn, they just deleted that shit. You have 5 here. Victor isn't here. You can look for something potentially. Otherwise, it's just farming and waiting for the Baron to time out. Yeah, Udyr's just gonna 1v1 people one at a time now.
Yeah, and Kennen went hard after me and just couldn't catch him.
Yeah. And that's just not being on the same page. One person got caught out by the Leona ultimate. The Udyr we just watched the Udyr 1v1 3 people in a row. And the Jin's just gotten fed like off of proximity. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's
how 80 should be played.
yeah, that's just the like the best way to get back into the game or get ahead in the game that's lane goes even is just to be around the fed person.
I've just here not to die, guys, okay?
Yeah. Let's see. This game should be pretty over for blue at this point. Just sad because earlier I said this game should be pretty over for red. Yeah. So now you have Baron. You have Baron on Udyr and Jhin. Yeah, Udyr can just leave, get out of this. You don't have the damage without Annie there. So he can greed for that tower. And he's so fucking fast that he just runs away with Cloud Soul. And now we're getting to the point where the Jax, like, Ken encounters it in lane. Jax can fuck him up out of lane, especially without Hourglass. Like, out of lane, Kennen has more counterplay against it, in a world where it's like the Kennen, as soon as the Jax like commits and stun jumps, you can just ult Hourglass, and then he is just missing a good chunk of his damage and also missing a good chunk of his health bar. But yeah. I would have probably gone Hourglass into Horizon. Maybe not Horizon Focus. Maybe just Demonic Embrace or Death Cap or some shit. Yeah, and then this game should just be over. Fuck Udyr. Question. Did you take Font of Life in your rune page, Mystic?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you know why that's good? And why I ask right now specifically?
I don't know why it's good offhand.
Just
Maybe
because
might.
Staff of... It's because of Staff of Flowing Water. Healing or shielding ally grants you both 50% movement speed and ability power for 3 seconds. That procs off of Font of Life. So,
Okay.
CCing someone and then them healing themselves off of the Font of Life from your CC will proc Font of Water, or will proc Staff of Flowing Water. So, anytime I'm gonna buy a Staff of Flowing Water, I buy Font of Life. It's just nice to have the two together. They synergize well. Yeah. Damn, that's unlucky. Didn't get that last one. But yeah, that game just chalks up mainly to blue scaling well and finding good fights once they get to the mid game, stacking those dragons really well. Got the first 2 early, which was really good. And then red just like did not find any fucking good fights once they got to the mid game. Not on the same page. No like Udyr focus or anything. Any questions? No?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have plenty, but
Yeah.
Nothing comes to mind right now.
Okay. All right.
Kind of covered all the things I took down in my notes from when I watched.
Okay, that's good. But yeah. All right. That is game 2.